Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks so much for dropping by. Hey, you got scammed. You got somebody absconded with your money. Somebody scammed you out of your money. Your partner sold your property out from underneath you, or whatever. Well, what's the likelihood of you becoming whole on that again? Let's talk about that.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
All right. I gotta, preface this by saying and put this disclaimer out. We're not attorneys, and if you're involved in anything like this, we certainly think you should get good legal representation. That being said, you see these videos all the time. People that sold property, misrepresented property, stole, all kinds of different things. You're in a long distance relationship. You were sending her money and they were going to build the house, and you got there and you found 3 pieces of bamboo pounded in ground and there's no title. Or they bought property and there's a title. And you said, no, I got smart. I listened to those YouTubers. Okay. And that was your first mistake. Okay? Don't listen to us. Don't. All right? The only thing you need to get and understand here, the most important part of it, is that you need good, solid advice. Now, let me tell you what we've found, what we've been to. We've been to the lawyers with all of this. We own a condo. I own a condo. I own property. My name is on the title of the land and the house that was built on our property. My name is on the title of the condo. That being said, all right, things are not always what you think. And it's important to understand that. So the first thing that you need to do is anytime you have a written arrangement. All right. If you are going to supply X for Y, you need a written arrangement so that the terms and conditions are there. If you're sending money on a long distance relationship or to your family or to whatever, what's that money for? Make sure that you have that in writing. Now, you may think these are petty, but you've got to understand, all right, it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. It doesn't matter. You know what? Let's take a look at it like this. Let's say you have bought property and it's in your name and your partner's name. All right. Well, theoretically, she cannot sell that land with your name on the title without you signing off on that land. Period. But it doesn't always work like that. You see, you can get anything done anywhere for a little bit of cash. All right? They can make it look like you gave permission. They can jury rig a letter and put your name on it. And some courts will accept it. City Hall will accept it. The letter of deeds will accept it in some places. Either way, the point is there are many people that have been scammed like this. So let's say then that happens, all right? And this doesn't apply just to property. You can apply this to all kinds of things. But in the instance of property, it's much more visible for us to explain it. So now it's a case of misrepresentation, deceit, and theft. Well, that's called estafa here, ESTAFA. All right. And there are varying degrees of estafa. But let us just say you can do that. Well, first you're going to have to get a lawyer. Then you're going to have that lawyer tell you this is the information you've got to get together. And until that lawyer feels like you have all of the documentation needed to present to the court, all right, to the DOJ, to whoever is going to be in, depending on what kind of case it is, the prosecutor, does the prosecutor then think there's enough evidence or information to proceed? Then they have to take that and go forward to the court. And then the court has to then decide. So this is going to start costing you money. At some point, you have to decide how much is it worth. And then let's just say, let's pretend, because this is very uncommon, very, very uncommon, but it happens, you win. Let's just say you prove it, it was outright theft, outright fraud, whatever. You prove it. What happens at that point? There's a judgment issued, all right, against the defendant, penalties and a judgment. Now, part of those penalties are going to be, if it's a criminal piece, she's going to have to pay the criminal penalties, and that may include jail time. But what about you? What did you get back out of that? The property, it's got her name on it, your name on it. No more than you can sell it, she can sell it. You can't sell it without her permission either. And now she's in jail. Think you're going to get her permission? All right. Second thing is you think that money is still around? Suppose, they were supposed to be building a piggery or starting a hardware store or water purification or whatever. You think that money is still around? There's no money to give you, and they're not going to have money. All right. Don't invest in anything that you can't walk away from. Even when it comes to condos, you need a good real estate agent to understand fully what your rights are under the terms and conditions, because there are some shady contractors out there with condos. Very, very shady. All right? There's just no way around it. It's the truth. So don't ever invest in the Philippines anything that you're not more than happy to walk away from. Okay? Don't put yourself in a position where you can be liquidated. Personally, my belief is you keep the majority of your cash in the U.S., and only trusted family members can access it, and only in an emergency. And you might want to issue what's called a limited special purpose or a limited power of attorney. All right, where they can only access that money for certain things, and they have to show that. So, but that's all in planning in the future. My point here is simply, do not invest in anything you can't walk away from, that you simply cannot accept that money's gone, that investment's gone, and that you're going to start afresh somewhere else. Chasing that money down is almost a futile effort. It really and truly is. Trying to get to the bottom of it. I mean, I saw an article the other day where one of the senators is battering the crap out of the Department of Justice that these cases need to be just dismissed. And what has happened in a 10-year period, there are over 1 million cases that never made it to trial. They just got postponed, delayed, prosecutor didn't show up, Defense attorney didn't show up. Judge didn't show up. It was National Pig Day and the courts were closed. I don't know. But it happens here. And it doesn't take much money at all to alter the course. In other words, don't think for a minute that some of these judges or prosecutors were coerced, perhaps financially, to just delay that case a little bit more. And now they've made it a law that once a case reaches a certain age, if it hasn't been prosecuted, it's just dismissed. And you have to start over from scratch. And what they're talking about doing now is making it a law that once it's dismissed, it can't be brought up again. Just walk away. Walk away and be happy. Don't spend good money to chase bad money. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Being a vindictive, butthurt individual is not going to make your money come back. Now, granted, there are exceptions to the rules. Maybe you can get Rafa Tufo to get you on there and he can go after you. But it's funny, you never see the end results because you forget they do have plea bargaining here. They have compromises here. If somebody owes you 2 million pesos or 5 million pesos or whatever, and the end result is I can give you 15% of it or none. And you can try and come after me because I don't own anything. I don't own a thing. My daughter owns it. My kids own it. I don't have it. I spent it. I've already admitted my guilt. There's nothing more for me to say than to say, I'm sorry, I'm guilty. If you want it, come after me. And then what are you going to do? Even if you win, what are you going to do? Is it that powerful to end up trying to turn it into a criminal proceeding past a civil proceeding? It's not. It's not. You're supposed to be retired. All right? You made a mistake. It happens. You were scammed. It happens. Not your fault. Although some could argue that maybe you weren't diligent enough, but we won't. We won't. They may have been a pro at this, an absolute professional, and somebody's going to get caught. That's the bottom line. Don't throw good money after bad. Really and truly, it's not worth it. I don't know. Have you got friends that were involved in scams? Did they get their money back at 100% plus legal fees plus their time and effort? Were they able to make themselves whole? And at what cost? At what cost were they able to do that? I mean, your rights, yeah, you have rights here, and they are somewhat limited. And the system is somewhat rigged. That's the honest truth. I don't know. You tell us, what do you think about it? How do you feel about it? Otherwise, thanks so much. Have a great day.